Welcome back to the Unfiltered Butterfly podcast. My name is Mike Connor. I'm here representing Attracting Grace and the Magical Mind process. We'll talk about that a little bit later today, but this is episode 4, where we're focusing on rewiring safety from control to trust. Let me ask you this. If your patterns were built for safety, how do you create a new version of safety that actually sets you free? Again, Mike Connor here. Welcome back to the Unfiltered Butterfly. Last episode, we uncovered something foundational, that what looks like control is often the nervous system trying to create safety. Today, we're going to go a little bit deeper because awareness is the beginning, but rewiring is where life actually changes. And who would know more about change at this point but our friend Nicole. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mike. Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Graves. It's such an honor to be here. And I would love to introduce my mom, my other half, Sharla.
And I am Sharla Lee. And of course, I am the mom. And very, very happy to be with you today.
Indeed. We've got a lot to cover today. And we hope that this is comfortable for both of you, because I know when we went through it, it wasn't necessarily comfortable, but it was useful. And it changed a lot of stuff in your life. So what we want to do is talk about patterns that are safety, how to change them without feeling unsafe. So let's talk about the nervous system. It doesn't choose what's best. It chooses what's familiar. So in the books I write, I often am saying that it's not necessarily your habits or your identity that's changed. What is going on is that you are patterned. From when you were very, very young, you took on attributes of living that were useful for you to get through the 2s and the 3s and the 4s and the 5s. But when life started expanding for you, you didn't quite know how to go do. So what you often did is you kept reverting back to the same strategies that work as a 2 or a 3-year-old. So the nervous system doesn't choose what's best, it chooses what's familiar. And as we talked last week, and we will this week, if control was your safety, letting go of control can feel like danger, serious danger. Not that it's dangerous, but it can feel like danger to somebody who has been in control of so much for so long. So the real work isn't just changing behavior, it's teaching your nervous system that a new way can be safe. Nicole, what are your thoughts on it?
So one of the things that I've noticed what comes with awareness, nothing changes. I used to think that, I'd get in awareness and I thought that would be it. Great, I'm going to move on and do something else. And of course, awareness is just the first step. And when you become aware, it becomes uncomfortable. All of a sudden, the life that you were living before, where you were oblivious or ignorant, all of a sudden the awareness changes everything, and then it's sitting there like the control. There's loudness inside your body that says you want to go left, and no, we're supposed to go right, because going right is where we want to go. And it's just all of a sudden this battle that's inside. And for a long time, when I recognized the control over the last couple of years, I was trying to control the control by saying, no, we're not going to do this, we're going to go that way. And it was just a complete battle that just didn't really give me any satisfaction whatsoever, any kind of peace. I would go 10 steps forward just to have 20 steps back, and then do another 12 steps forward.
And a couple sideways, right?
Just up and down, oscillating back and forth, and it was just... It was tough. But the only reason is because I couldn't relax into surrender, because there was still that fear. There was that underlying fear that if I let go of control, everything's going to fall apart, because I can't control the actions of others. I can't control the circumstances that happen outside. But then there comes a point where you realize it's not yours to control. That's where the trust comes in, that everything's going to work out okay. Even if the other person, so to speak, that's involved in whatever you're doing, you can't control what they're doing, but whatever they do, there's a way out. There's a way to go through anything. So when you start to have the trust and the faith inside you to teach your nervous system, no, it's okay, and to do the breathing technique and just relax through the day, all of a sudden things start falling apart and you start attracting the better parts of others. And then you start to realize, what was I trying to control? You can't control anything. Everything's out of our control. All we can do is just relax.
It is indeed. It is. Sharla, is that a common perspective that you also share?
It's yes and no, I guess. But the part that hit me the most was when Nicole mentioned that about the breathing. I never thought much about breathing. Breathing is innate. We have to breathe to survive. And that's basically all I knew. You would inhale and you would exhale. As far as a pattern of knowing how to reset your body through your breath, I never had any type of exposure. The closest that could possibly come to it would have been from my mom, when she did teach me that any times when I felt a tinge of anxiety or stress coming upon me and I felt like I couldn't control it, then I should stop for 10 seconds, count to 10 seconds. And that is the pause. So I learned the power of the pause, but I did not learn the power of the breath that goes along with the pause. And that has helped tremendously.
So relative to your life as it was before and as it is now, Sharla, how have you integrated the Grace Reset and the pause and all the other things that we've been working with you for a couple of months now? How have you integrated that into your daily expression?
The Grace Reset is a lifesaver for me. And it doesn't matter if I am in my car driving, if am at home doing my work, or even if I'm getting ready to go to bed at night. I have found that taking that quiet time to just settle within my body, to do what we can to relax the breath and have that hesitation, it allows your nervous system to return to that point of safety that I never realized that was so important and I never had. So it has changed my life tremendously.
I got you. Nicole, tell us how you utilize the Grace Reset and how it has exemplified the ways that you patiently work through your daily trials and tribulations and keep you centered on the path that you have chosen.
So just so our readers are informed, the Grace Reset is a pattern of breath that you can use where you go in for 4 count, you hold for 2 count, and then you exhale through the mouth for 6 count. And by doing that, you're signaling safety to the nervous system, because most of the time our brain is in fight or flight response, so our breathing is pretty erratic. But when you stop and you give yourself a conscious Grace Reset and you do the 4-2-6, you're signaling to your body that, hey, it's okay, we can be in this present moment and we're safe. And I'm like my mom, I do the Grace Reset quite often, pretty much every hour for me, because that's just how my life is, the intensity of the things that I have going on. Every time that I step forward into a new identity where I hear a little bit better, I got a whole mess I've got to work with the safety of my nervous system that says, oh, we're not safe to hear that. We've got to go back to where we were. And the Grace Reset helped to keep me steady and in alignment with the awareness to make sure that I am teaching my nervous system that it's safe to be in the present moment. Because that's the other thing I've learned about control is because I'm constantly managing my environment, scanning for danger, making sure that I'm okay, there's absolutely nothing going on around me. For example, I'll be in my office. What am I scanning? But apparently my brain is scanning for all kinds of things. So I'm always tense and nervous. And even when I'm doing my work, if I'm writing a book or if I'm getting ready for a presentation, my nervous system will just start to tense up. So the Grace Reset helps me to filter through the noise and to say, hey, it's okay, let's bring us back into safety, let's bring us back into the present moment. And control is one of the ones that loosens up when you're utilizing the Grace Reset as much as you can, because then your body starts to learn, oh, we got this. It's okay. We can move forward and we can go into this new identity or we can go into this new direction and we're going to be okay.
Absolutely. I'm so pleased that you've been able to identify that as one of the stepping stones for you to be able to still feel safe while not really being in control and letting the world shake out the way the world needs to shake out, and recognize that with the 426 breathing that we talked about, it's a very useful way to keep your emotions and your physicalness out of the amygdala, which is what we had when we were Cro-Magnon type people, and into the prefrontal cortex, which is where we get to a place where we don't have fight or flight. And I can imagine how fight or flight was a big part of your life as you were going through life in a hearing impaired way till you figured out how to activate these aspects of the brain. Tell us what that was like.
And I can tell you that, so for the longest time when I was wearing my hearing aid, I was in fight or flight all the time. So what happened when I was wearing my hearing aid is my attention was pulled outside of my body. So now I was scanning my environment to make sure that I heard everything. And I had a belief inside of me that said, I have to hear everything because everyone else hears everything. And we talked about this in episode 1 about me being normal. So I had this warped belief that in order to be normal, I had to hear everything. So I was always scanning, I was paying attention to people, really reading their lips, making sure I catch every word. I was on edge, tense all the time. And so when I made the decision to take out my hearing aid, I was very much faced with a part of me that now was afraid of missing things, of missing conversations, of being left out, of not belonging. And I've been able to train my nervous system to say, hey, we're going to hear what we need to hear at the time that we need to hear it. And if you miss something, somebody's going to repeat it. And it's okay if it had to be repeated 10 times. That's just the way it is. And so I had to learn with the Grace Reset, because what happened is my nervous system, the amygdala, would fire up. And I would have anxiety. I would be an oppressor. I would need to hurry up and get something done. I used to speak a lot faster than I'm speaking now because I had to hurry up and get my words out. And so the Grace Reset helped to calm my system down. And then when it does that, I actually feel a difference, where I can feel the thoughts are changing. I can feel the compulsion to say something is a little different. It's easier for me to pause. It's easier for me just to chill out and be relaxed and not be so aggressive in terms of what I needed to get out or what I needed to do, because my body was so scared to get out of that moment. So the Grace Reset has helped me to stay present and grounded and to really achieve what it is I've come out to do. And it feels so much better. I feel like I have more peace now without my hearing aid than I ever did with them. Which is
That's a big lesson right there. That tells you a whole lot right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Fantastic. Hey, now, Sharla, tell me, are you along the lines on all of this pausing and the Grace Reset and the 426 breathing, and how have you utilized it in your daily life and what you're doing?
I wish I had known this when I were younger. However, just from the conversations that we have had this morning up to this point in this episode, it brought me back to a point in time with my mother. And my mom was one that pretty much wanted to be the center of attention, such that when there was any type of conversation, we could be carrying on with the family. All of a sudden, she would just come in with a comment totally off the wall, has nothing to do with what was the topic at the time. And it was because she wasn't listening. She was simply thinking about what she could say next. And that was the most important in her mind, was her being heard. So,
are you suggesting that perhaps she could have used a Grace Reset as well?
Oh, she could have definitely used the Grace Reset without any doubt. But you can see from that pattern from my mom how that carried over and what happened to me. Because what happened to me, I would be getting, and the reason I said I wish I'd known this earlier, I would be in situations where there were conversations, but I wouldn't know what to say. So I would just draw back, become very withdrawn. I would not speak, because if I spoke, no one would listen to what I was saying anyway, because basically no one ever listened to my mother.
Oh.
So that it's hard to explain. It truly
but these
is.
family patterns, when you look at it over the course of decades, become really clear, don't they?
They do, and I didn't even take that into perspective until the conversation that we're having right now in this moment.
There's always learning going on here, Sharla.
Oh, yes.
Always learning.
Yes.
So Nicole, let me ask you this. If somebody wants to start rewiring their sense of safety today, what's one step that you believe they can take today to move into that direction of being safe in all atmospheres?
So I feel like it just takes 10 minutes or less of the intention to sit down and be present with yourself, however that is, whatever shows up, and to do the grace reset, the 426 method, to just relax into your body and observe what comes up. Because when you're doing that, you're telling your body, hey, it's okay to be however we are, and then your body starts to relax. And when your body is comfortable relaxing, that's when things start to shift.
Let me ask you something, Nicole. Would you be kind enough to demonstrate the 426 breathing? And when you're done, tell us what you noticed when you did that breathing and where your thoughts were and ultimately where they went while you did that breathing for 426.
All right, so for those of you that want to participate, if you could just take a moment and just sit quietly in your seat or lying down, however comfortable for you, with your eyes open or closed. And we're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. So in through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 1, 2, and out for 6. Through the mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One more time, in through the nose. Hold for 2. And out for 6 through the mouth. And then we'll do that one last time, in through the nose. Hold for 2. And out through the mouth for 6. Well,
how are you feeling after 3 episodes of that 426 breathe?
Yes, so I like to do it in 3 because 3 did really give your body a chance to just really adapt and relax and get the process. And I can tell you, for me, what was going through my mind is, am I good enough? Can I really do this? Am I going to do this live? We're going to do the Grace Reset live on this podcast. How are people going to respond? But it's pretty loud in the beginning. But then once I relaxed into it and I said, no, we're safe, and just keep going. My whole body.
You didn't know, and to be honest with our listeners, you didn't know I was going to ask that question and have you do it live. I sort of did that for the benefit of our listeners to see how you would respond, whether you were going to do what you said you would do earlier or whether you're going to flip out and just say, oh my God, and go into control. But I can tell by your smile right now, Nicole, that everything worked out beautifully, even though you had thoughts about, am I good enough? Can I do this live? And all of those other things that came along with that.
This show is raw and unfiltered, right?
Yes, exactly.
I appreciate you doing that. That's one thing I love about you, Mike. You always put me right on the spot, right on the challenge, right on the edge, and give me a chance to grow. And I think that's a beautiful place to be. So thank you for that opportunity. And I love it. I can tell you right now, I'm feeling so relaxed and grateful that we're able to do things like this live and that we're able to share it with our audience. And I hope that they get out of it the same way that I do.
Great. Thank you.
And if I may interject something for our audience too, while Nicole was doing the demonstration, I participated. So instead of just watching her as she was doing, I thought, why not take a grace reset? So that's exactly what I did. And then when I came out of it, I was extremely relaxed. Not that I haven't been somewhat relaxed during the podcast, but there's always that sense of anxiety and, for me, perfection, that everything is going to go right and be just as we planned. And that's why I did it. And then when I felt that relaxation in my body, it was almost like, especially in my arms and my shoulders, I felt that little tinge of, oh, everything's fine, just let it go.
And
it was great.
Recognizing that it's only been a couple of months now since you've been made aware of this, the fact that you have negated seven decades of life up until this point in time, not having known any of this, and even though you're doing it 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day, getting it, you are training your body to be at peace and not necessarily, not a control freak, if you know what I'm saying. And you probably do. And so Nicole, how long have you been doing this, and how many times a day would you say that you go through these breathing exercises pretty religiously because you needed it and you chose it and it was good for you? How did that work for you? How many times do you do it?
I do it several times a day. I try to make it a habit. And that's part of the coherent too, when you're putting your mind and your body incoherent together with your breath. And the more times that I can do that, I've noticed that my body's picking up the rhythm to where I don't have to do it as much anymore. But when I started the work, I'm very religiously dedicated to moving forward in a direction, because when I'm reversing my hearing loss, there's an end result of where I get my hearing and it's phenomenal. And so there are things that I need to do to get there, which is to create safety in my nervous system. So for me, it's every hour. I even had the alarm was going off just a few minutes ago. Hopefully I was praying it wouldn't come up on the podcast, but I have it on my phone where it says Great Reset, and it's a reminder every single hour. And you're talking about less than 90 seconds every hour to give yourself time to return to center and to teach your nervous system. Everything's about practice. You wouldn't go to the gym and expect to lift 50 pounds in your first session. You would need to go.
Don't? Are you sure? Oh my God, I was really hoping we could do
that. Unless you're out of the norm, you've got a pretty strong body up to begin with. But you would have to build up to it. And usually you would go 3 to 4 times a week. And you're not going to go once a week, because once a week is not nearly enough time, right, for you to be able to build up the strength you need. So you would go pretty frequently. So it's about the same thing when it comes to your nervous system safety. You've always reminded me, I got over 40 years behind me of doing things one way, so I got to practice going the other way. So it's a choice to really dedicate time to improve myself and to grow, because it feels so much better. I think the audience can attest to that fact, how much better they felt after the Great Reset. So why wouldn't you want to do it? So that's why I do it.
So in closing today, ladies, your nervous system can learn a new definition of safety. And when it does, your life expands. Nicole, do you have a thought on that?
I'm sorry, I apologize, Mike. Could you repeat that one more time?
Yes, the nervous system, you can learn a new identity or new definition of safety. And when it does, your life can expand.
When does my life what?
Your life expands.
Oh, when my life expands, yes. So when you're introducing a new way of being to the nervous system, and your nervous system decides that it's okay and it goes with it, that's when you expand, because now you've allowed opportunity to come to you that was never safe before. So in looking back, for example, when I first started my company, I was a mess. My nervous system was terrified because we didn't have a paycheck coming in every single week. How was I going to get the money? It was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and I created a lot of what I didn't want because of that. Now it's very different. Now I'm running the same company. I still have the same challenges sometimes, but because I've taught my nervous system safety, all of a sudden opportunities come that's like, wow, that's great. They should come in and it solves my problem. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to control the environment by doing a particular thing. Ideas have changed. So when you expand, your thoughts change. Because it brings with the expansion, because now you've allowed yourself and opened yourself up to new experiences. Now you're seeing things that were always there, but you never allowed them to be there. So then the life starts changing and you start transforming, and it's a beautiful process.
Exactly. Sharla, do you have a point of view on the nervous system and a new definition of safety that you have embraced?
I now understand that my nervous system is trying to create and protect me with that safety, which I never took it into consideration. And I would like to mention, because I know we're nearing the end of the closing, but with my move from Panama City, Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina, the atmospheres between the two destinations are like day and night, black and white. They are so different. And this will help those of you that happen to travel or drive a lot, because I have found that the Grace Reset is tremendous in relaxing my body and helping my nervous system stay in a state of calm and safety when I'm in traffic. Because even at a traffic light, or sometimes even on the interstate, just that slight pause, just enough to take your breath and concentrate to settle in your system, eliminates so much anxiety, because there are a number of people, as we know, out there on the highways with road rage. So the Grace Reset is phenomenal.
And you're not one of them, is that right?
Oh, no.
You are doing the Grace.
But I won't say now that in the past that I haven't gotten very, very
You're
frustrated.
All still human.
Yeah, we are.
It never happened to me, but I
with those drivers.
Yeah.
So just a little tidbit.
Very good. So I want to say thank you for everyone listening to the Unfiltered Butterfly podcast. We appreciate both Sharla Lee and Nicole Grace for walking through their experiences of happiness and healing and changing things in their environment that they never knew were possible. And we wanted to share that with our listening audience. We hope you listen on a regular basis. Be sure to subscribe and be a part of this podcast on a regular basis and learn a whole bunch of good stuff that can help you morning, noon, night. We appreciate you being here. Again, I am Mike Connor saying goodbye for Nicole Grace and for Sharla Lee. We thank you for being here. Thank you, ladies. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.